right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we are here to talk all about AI and Codingville. So, we're really excited to get into this topic. Um, to introduce myself, my name is Jeff Hendiger. I'm a grade 5 teacher and a logics facilitator based out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I'm joined by our presenter today. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here. My name is Martin Peltier. I'm on the East Coast as well, so Moncton, New Brunswick. I'm district lead, and I lead the subjects of numeracy, and I'm also technical a tech lead in the school board in the district in the Francophone school board. So really happy to be here with you guys today and showcasing how we can use Codingville to introduce coding to our students today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Before we begin, I'd like to begin by acknowledging that I'm presenting today from Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. The treaties of peace and friendship cover this territory. We are all treaty people. And if you haven't seen this website before, so this is native-land.ca. It's fantastic for learning about different areas around the globe and the native people that were there, that came from there. And it also, in addition to some great information, there's a cool AI tool that helps you build land acknowledgements and helps you think about the area you live and your connection to it. So definitely worth checking that out. And just a little bit of stuff to let you know about logics that you might not be aware of. So in addition to sessions like this that we're here to lead today, Logix also has a lot of solutions for computer science education, different robot accessories and robot toys and tools that you can purchase for your school or district, also offering curriculum and resources. And if you think after today that Codingville is a great tool for your area, you can actually book sessions like this live for your staff or your colleagues, and also in-class sessions as well. So definitely worth checking out all the great support that is offered by logixacademy.com. Yeah, like I was saying, just some of those different products. So things about robotics or digital microscopes, laser cutters, 3D printers, all those kinds of things from a fantastic company based right here in Canada. And lastly, we just want to make sure we thank Microsoft. This event that we're running is in partnership with Microsoft, so thank you to them for their support. We'll share this again at the end, but if you are in a district where you like to get certificates or that helps you in some way, if you go to this bit.ly link, I'll paste it in the chat here. If you visit that link and fill that in, the folks at Logix will send you a certificate filled in with your name and about the learning you did today. So definitely worth checking out. Okay, so Martin, I'll pass it off to you.
Perfect. Thank you. And just to get started, Codingville is an initiative that's funded by the Government of Canada in partnership by Mindfuel and Robo Garden. So we are really thankful today for making this happen for Canadian classes all across the country. And it's really tailored to the various curriculums across the country that have coding included in their various curriculums. So here's the plan for today. We're going to do a little intro about what is Codingville, but most specifically with today's session, we're going to be talking about AI and how AI is included in Codingville and how you can teach AI to your students, even though if you some of the activities you don't get to, it's showing you how you can use AI or how AI is used in our day-to-day life. So it's really great. And then we'll talk a little bit about what Codingville, and then we'll go on to the platform and code some activities. We'll show you what it's all about, and then we'll have time at the end for Q&As. Maybe in the chat, if you wouldn't mind telling us if you are new to Codingville, if maybe 1 to 5, if you're 5, an expert with coding, you code with your students all the time, you have various projects, or maybe 1, you're just introducing coding to your class, you're not really sure where to go, it's a really great platform for that. So let us know in the chat. We'd like to hear from you, and maybe just in which part of Canada where you're from. So the first thing that you need to do as teachers for Codingville, you need to create a teacher account. So you will have to go to codingville.robogarden.ca. But usually what I just do, I go in my favorite browser and I write in codingville.ca, and it brings me to the website, and then I create a teacher account. Keep in mind that when you take or create your teacher account, you will have to verify it through an email. So sometimes it takes a lot of time. Sometimes it's also blocked by your school board. I've seen it happen as well. So maybe check your spam, your junk folder. And if that really doesn't work, and if you have a personal email, maybe you can join in through that personal email. That's what we had to do a month ago. A teacher couldn't sign in at all. And to get the verification code or to accept the invitation from Codingville, it might take a few minutes as well. So be patient, try it a few times, and if it really doesn't work, we'll give you a website or not a website, but an email at the end where you can connect with us, and we'll troubleshoot on how to get you hooked on this platform. So again, the Codingville account, and it will be the same way for students because what will happen is you will create your class, and then the students will sign in, and we'll talk about uh, logging in at some time. Um, Codingville is really a game-based platform where you learn to code from block-based coding all the way to text-based coding. So I'm not an expert at coding. I know block coding. I'm getting a lot better, but I'm only at the entry level of the text-based coding. So it's a really great way for me to introduce it to my students. And I might even have students that are better than me, and I can challenge them by giving them some work with Codingville and really differentiate the activities that way. And maybe it's great for students that are just starting as well, and they really understand the basis of coding. And once they do what we call journeys, there's various journeys. They learn step by step how to use coding, and then at the end they can try to create their own app in an app builder project that can be published on the Android devices. So again, it's really differentiated. It's really aligned with the K-12 curriculum, and it really supports for teachers and resources. And for teachers, it's awesome because there's a little I want to say cheat sheet or code. If you don't know the answers, there's a little button you can press, and then you can have the solution. Maybe guide your students this way. It's awesome. And even if you don't have your class with you all the time, the students can flag a little ticket there, and then you can help them as well that way. So for Codingville, you'll see over here, it's really the goal is to problem solve, persevere, develop a growth mindset, and the students will make mistakes, and that's okay in coding. It's all about making mistakes and trying to find ways to fix it or fix them. And it's a fun and easy way to use it. It's supportive for all learners. You can share your projects, and then you can bring your ideas to life. And as a teacher, I really like it because you can track students' work or students' progress along the way. So it's fantastic that way. It's really there's really a nice teacher platform where you can see everything from the back end or the teacher perspective. The way it works, you will assign journeys, and there's extra practice skill. If you want to practice a specific skill that's tied up to your curriculum, let's say you need to work loops or conditions or things like that, you can work on them specifically and build your own experience. And it's really aligned with various curriculums across the country. And I think, Jeff, on your side in Nova Scotia, it is included in the curriculum. Am I right on math? In math?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually we have it separate here in Nova Scotia. So up from primary to grade 6, it's its own curriculum,
Oh, wow.
um, and then yeah, and then it works its way into like some of the technology courses and things like that in middle and high school here.
Oh, great, great. We have
Yeah.
it in mostly in middle school, but our curriculums are getting revamped, and it's included now in numeracy grade 9. So we're getting there. But it's, as you should know, or as you guys know, it's a big process to change curriculums. So, yeah. So it's easy to track students, and you see an example over here. You see the student's name, and then you see how they're doing, the number of attempts they did, the number of try they did, where they struggled. So it's really nice to see that. And as the students are doing this, they're gaining XP points, like a video game, where they can gain points and have the most points at the end. So it kind of brings a compete level for some of the students that need that extra motivation. And you see over here, we have things tied up to the grade 1 and plus, 4 and plus, and grade 7 and plus. It's really important to know that even though it says grade 1 and plus, it doesn't have to be grade 1 class that's doing that. You can, for example, Jeff can go with his students that maybe have never done coding and do the grade 1 plus activity and sign up that way. So it's really good that way. And here we are getting coding started with Codingville. There's a bunch of resources for teachers. If you're new to coding and don't know maybe the definition of computational thinking or sequence or loops, there's a bunch of things here. And there's also resources. If you don't have devices, you can also learn about coding and do some coding here in Codingville. It can be as simple as a Simon Says activity to follow the instruction by drawing a certain object, to making a dance routine where your students are active in the class. So get all the students engaged, where you're repeating certain moves over and over again, where you show some loops and things like that. So I just said what the next page is all about. Those are the unplugged activities that are really fun. Have you tried them, Jeff, with some of your students?
Not in fifth grade, but I've supported some younger grades with some of those things. But totally, it would definitely work in my fifth grade classroom as well. So yeah, if you wanted to make sure they understood some of those concepts, like you were saying about loops and things like that, before ever going on a computer, if you can make sure that they have that background knowledge before they start, which is a great way to do it.
Great, great. I tried to draw Picasso. I think the one where you draw a certain thing and you have to follow the instructions. So it's a really nice one that you don't have to set up all the devices for the students and everything. So this is the part that we're really interested right now, and it's the coding part. That's a new add-on, maybe what, a month ago ish or plus. They've revamped their platform. There's more stuff that's gonna come in the next year, and the one that's really interesting to us today is the AI adventure, and we'll be talking about that, and we'll be talking about how to get them. And you can see here the create a project. You can now create your project with AI. So that's a brand new thing that's been added on. And here we have a little definition of computational thinking. But what we'll do at this time, I'll jump into on the other side of my computer and show you exactly what is Codingville, and explore the dashboard, and then we'll get into coding. Sounds good, Jeff?
Perfect. Let's do it.
Everything good on the back end in the chat?
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty quiet on there for now, but all looks good.
All right. So I'll be switching here. It wants me to remove. There we go. So you can see here I'm on the Codingville platform. It's asking me for my login. So I can do the login. And then once I'm in, I can go into my dashboard. So you see my dashboard. I can see my students, my top 10 students over here. I have the scores. and then I have all the classroom. I have a lot of classrooms because I'm showcasing Codingville to a lot of classes. So every time I'm giving a PL, I'm showcasing how to create maybe a classroom. And then if we go here, we're gonna create a new class. I'm gonna click on creating a class. And once I'm creating my class here, you can see that I have all of my students, all of my class. I added some pictures representing maybe some of my classes. I'm gonna go into create a classroom. I'm gonna give it a name. So sometimes I say the date, and I choose a grade level. Maybe for today it's grade 6. I can click here on the pencil to add an image, and we'll go search in my computer for an image. Maybe there we go. Just adding one as an example over here. Create. And now I have my class. So you will see my class will be all the way to the end. If I click on the third page, there we go. I have my class over here, and I have a classroom code. So I don't know, Jeff, if you were teaching online or you started with Teams when the pandemic started, where we had to invite students, or some teachers didn't have their classroom populated from their their school board. So what we had to do is to invite students to join in with a code. So we have that famous code over here, and it's really case sensitive. So you can join with a code, and you see here something went wrong. It's just asking me for the demographics. But if I click on the students over here, I can also add students individually. um, I can share with the class code. So if you are on a Google Classroom or Google Teams or Spaces edu, you can invite them this way. This one hasn't worked for me. Maybe I'm not a guru in Excel, and maybe the problem's on my end. I don't know, Jeff, if you've tried this way with the.
I have played with that one before. Yeah, so you would just build, like you're saying, you build a spreadsheet, and then you'd have one column with the student's name. You can have another column with the username, and when you export that as a CSV file, that's what you can upload, and then it puts your whole class in at once.
Awesome, great. So for your text expert over there, you can try this. So it's really easy, and you can use you can take the same usernames as you're using with your classroom, or create a password for your class.
We did just
They're
have a question in
asking,
the chat about that, Martin. Sorry.
yes.
Somebody was just asking if there's a specific class link or if they just go to the Codingville website and put that code in somewhere. How does that work for students?
So for students, when they want to log in, they have to, let's say I'm here. Maybe I click don't have an account. I just want, and it's going to ask you, am I a teacher or am I a student? So if I'm a student, I'm going to click here. Do you have a classroom code? So I will click on the yes, because it's the one that was just shared. And then I would enter my classroom code over there, and then I can log in and create my own username and password. That would be
Perfect.
one
So
way
they
to
would
log
just add in on their Google Classroom or whatever their learning management system is, just put the link codingville.ca and then walk the students through that process.
in. Exactly, exactly. And
Perfect.
really encourage them maybe to use a the password doesn't have to be complicated over here. So you want them to remember that password. I'm sure, Jeff, you've had that experience in your class where the students forget their
Absolutely.
username or password, and maybe not as a digital citizenship here. Don't put in their full name. Maybe just put in initials or even part of their first name, and maybe numbers, something that they will remember. And then the one of the thing that's important to Codingville, because this is funded by the government of Canada, they like to have data. So it's really important to maybe identify how many students are a girl. The reason why we want that is we want girls to be part of STEM. Um, engineering and things like that, and build equity as girls and men across the country. So we really want to know how many girls are we helping here to learn STEM and maybe guide them into STEM careers. And same thing for First Nation, Métis, Aboriginal. Same thing for that demographic. You do not have to do it, but it just Codingville. Again, it's funded by the government of Canada, and they can use this to help with the funds. And there's a little button here you can click prefer not to complete, and then there's one way of doing it. Yes, it's saying something wrong because it's just asking me to do it again, but don't worry about it. So now that we're in it, I want to explore maybe my dashboard here. Again, I'm going to go to my classes. I want to show you a class that I have a few students in. I think it's this one. And I can see the journeys where my students did some activities or the project that they did. They didn't do anything here. But you can see here, I have the names. Someone called it himself Poodle, gained 400 XP points, things like that. So I can track what they've done. And then I have my demographic over here. But if I go to my dashboard, that's not what I wanted to show. I wanted to showcase a specific class. I think it's this one. And if I click on progress over here, that's what I want to show. I can see my student progress. So I have the name of the students over here, the number of trials that they did. See over here, 2 trials, see their progress. I can see the code that they've put in. So maybe go back in the class and help the students. And then you see over here that student did 5 tries. He stopped over here. I can see the progress and maybe go to see that student and help them. And then if they are struggling with something, there's a little flag that they can push. And once they do that, I can click on help request. And you see over here, they are telling me, okay, I'm struggling over here with this. The mission is countdown. I need help here. I'm not sure what to do. And then I can chat with them or even go back live to them and help them this way.
Can I ask you a question about that? I actually haven't
Yeah.
used the help request feature. I'm just curious in the classroom what your workflow is for that. Like, do you keep that tab open and just kind of monitor it, or do you look after class? Like, what works for you for monitoring that?
For me, I was in charge of a coding club at school, and the students that were in it were coding. But because I wasn't at the school all the time, I'm managing like 18 schools. The students were flagging it this way, and here and there, I was going in and I get a notification message, and then I click here on the pencil and see I can send a screenshot or I can reply to the students here. This is what you're missing in your step. This is how to help you. Another way
Awesome.
could be, and then the students can go onto a specific skill or something and keep working, and they don't have to wait for me to
Hmm.
solve their problem. So yeah, and
I was
then
just
you
thinking
can
about how you mentioned that on the teacher's dashboard, if you pull up those activities, you can get like the little teacher cheat sheet. So you could use that to help you with your screenshots, even to make it even easier. That's cool that
exactly.
there's that screenshot feature. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So that's something I took on the side. I took the screenshot of the answer. I didn't want to give him the full answer, but I still
Right.
want them to
Yeah, just that one
troubleshoot.
little
But
step.
that's the block that they missed. And then you can change it over here as teacher. Okay, will help, resolve, or pending. It's really up to you. I'm gonna save this or exit out of this. Then we have the famous journeys over here, and that's the important part, and that's where we're gonna go at. And there's coding using blocks, and you see the various levels from blocks to JavaScript, coding using JavaScript. And then if you want to work specific skills, you can work on your specific skills over here, and we'll showcase what they are. And I can assign them to my class. So let's say I just created my class over here, which is at the November 22nd, I can click on this and assign it to my class. And then once the student log in, they will have an activity or something to do. It's really important to know that if you don't assign them any work, it's like you're expecting your students to do some homework, but you're not giving them any homework. So put it this way, you need to assign them some work if you want them to do something. Another one that I like to use is the nested condition inside simple loops, where I could assign it over here. Click on assign. I'll just showcase maybe the big picture over here, and then we'll get back to it. And I'll show you some coding features or what we can do, and we'll get into the AI version. So the discover part over here, it's good to discover student projects. The teacher's resources are over here, where you can do the challenges, help requests over here, and then the students, you can give them certificates or things like that. We also have the leaderboard over here. It's a little bit quiet for me at the moment. And if I go back to the journey, what's fun about this, you can try the journey. So if you're a teacher and you want to make sure that they can do it, I think I have a little bug over here. I have something loading, and I'm just going to refresh my browser here. There we go. So let's say I have this activity and I'm not sure what it's all about, or I want to do, for example, a skill practice, and then I want to know maybe what is inside simple loops. So maybe I can click on the info over here and I can try them myself as a teacher. So you see here, I can go at anyone I want. The students, typically, they would follow a certain order, specifically in the journeys. But if I want to say, check out what's the alien message, I'm going to click on it over here.
The aliens left Robo a message below the rocks, and we need to solve the puzzles to uncover it. Print the answer to this puzzle in the empty yellow cell to uncover the first letter of the alien's message.
So here we have a little sequence. It's telling us what to do, so the students can listen to that. But if I click on continue, I have a description over here. And this is the area where I will put my code. And you will see I have some coding items over here. The ones I need are only going to be available. It's not going to give me a bunch of items that I don't need because I'm just learning how to code. So for this, for example, I need my robo to turn and go all the way over there. And once I have the right answer over here, the little rock over here, they almost look like cheese balls, and they're going to go up, and then it's going to uncover a little message. So for example, I need to rotate my robot to get started. So I could click over here, and I'm going to have him rotate to the right. So I'm going to put him over here, and then my robot needs to go forward. So I'm going to go to movement, translation, and then step forward. And you see that little click when they click together. And then I can add another one, because my robot needs to go all the way over there. So one thing you can do is add all of those. But when we're doing some coding, I tell the students we have to be lazy. And they really love it when I say that, because, oh, okay, I get to be lazy. Or so there's some things that we can do in coding to be more efficient. Usually the less lines of codes that we put, the fewer mistakes that we do, and it's really more efficient that way too. So instead of putting a step forward every time, because the computer will do exactly what we say, maybe we can talk about loops. For example, same thing as we're walking, we're putting one step forward, and then we have to take the other leg and one step forward again. But if we telling our computer to do that every time, it can be really long. So we can maybe introduce loops over here, right, where we can repeat a certain amount of time. And then I can take this, put it somewhere else, or put it here. It's kind of our garbage. And then I can connect this over there, and says 10 loop. My grid is a 10 by 10, I think. Yes. So maybe over here I have to step forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to change this number to 7, and I'm going to press on run. And here we are. My robo is moving. Oh, I made a mistake. I forgot to put something. Please check your hint. So I can press on replay or I can check the hint. And this is what a student would see. When they click the hint here, oh, it's telling me I need to add one of this block and I should add a block of 0, but it's not giving me the answer over here. I'm going to retry the message or the mission, and I'm going to use the user interaction. I'm going to have the right on the cell, and I think the answer is 11. I think it's hidden values. I'm going to use values over here, and I'm going to try 11. And if I press run, I can, it's going to stop. Oh, congratulations, you did it. And it's also timed for students, so you can see the amount of time they spend on it. And then I'm on to my next mission.
Help Robo solve this puzzle to get another letter to uncover the alien message. Remember to print the answer.
So even though if coding is not part of your curriculum, I'm sure there are some ways you can find this in your math curriculum where you're learning sequencing or the missing numbers. So it's a great way to use that in a really creative and interactive way. The button that I was talking about, Jeff, and you mentioned it too, is when I showcased the screenshot, is the teachers, we have this, the little cogwheel over here. So if I click this, it's a fantastic one for teachers. We can here show model answer, and it's giving me the answer over here. So if I'm not sure how to help the students, I can go directly in the lesson or the part where they're doing it. I can see the answer, and then I can go back to them and give them some hints on how to do it. So those are for the various tasks that they can do. And if I'm going back here, you can see that they can do specific things. So you can assign them that. But now I'm diving exactly in our mission today, where we're going to be using the AI. It's really important to know here, I'm going to assign this lesson to my November 2nd, 22nd class so that they have it. And then if I click on info again, I can read the description, but I can go try. It's important to know as well, the students will have to do steps by step over here. It might take a while for some of them to do it, but they're really learning how to code this way. And the one I'm really interested about today is the AI, which is the brand new one over here. So if I'm clicking on the AI, and you can see over here, we have the green ones. And the green ones, the students really don't have much to do, but it's telling them step by step how to do things. It's talking to them about AI. And here they have puzzles that they have to do, which is a little game what that they have to create and code. And that's what we will be talking about. And today, if I'm going back to my journeys over here, there's AI in all three journeys. And the AI that we'll use in our first journey is voice recognition. And then the second one, we'll be recognizing an object. And the third one, it's emotions. And we're going to learn how the AI is generated to create those things. So again, I'm going to go into info, try, and feel free to try it at the same time as us to see how it works. Maybe use another device. And then I'm going to click on the AI here, and I'm going to go into voice recognition. Even if you're not doing the lesson with your students, there's so many things that you can use over here. For example, it's telling you how does Hey Siri works, and you're noticing I'm not saying it too hard because I don't want my watch or my phone to answer or the OK Google. And we even have that. I have that in my car right now. So we're understanding how those machine works. And what we'll be coding is we'll be coding our robot instead of putting arrows or saying it to turn right. We'll have to actually say it so that our robot is doing something. So here is the outcomes or the objectives for today. And with voice recognition, you see over here, it's being used everywhere. Where an example here, a doctor wants a diagnostic or wants some do some research about a certain aspect of his work. He can say the words, "Hey, blah blah blah," how to find this solution. What are the diagnostic for this? So it's really making life easier this way. And it's if I go to section 4, you see here there's a really nice graphic on how it's really used. Okay, how it's doing stuff. So, for example, we have the microphone that's recognizing, oh, hey, I want you to open a browser. So we're saying open a browser, it goes into the AI, and then it's choosing the specific task. So we have to train the AI to do that. So that's what we'll be working on today. So here, for example, we want to turn on music, play a certain artist, and then the AI is going to find solutions for you because we trained the AI that way. So how Robo uses voice recognition, and here it's telling us all the blocks that we need to use. So sometimes with teachers, I say, okay, take a screenshot of that or take a picture of that because that might be helpful to you when the students are doing the work. This is kind of the answer sheet where they need, but there's the next button that's telling them step by steps how to do it. And then if I click on lesson summary, what did you learn in this lesson? So I'm going to go to next mission and try it. And I'm over here, and this is what I would see. It's telling us step by step what to do. I'm going to skip this part over here because I'm actually going to do it with you. I'm going to go all the way to the end and click on the next mission. So here, because we're just starting, it did everything for us. So if you're opening this, it did everything for us, and somehow it recognizes that I've done this activity before. So you might not have all the same things as me. Jeff, do you have all of that? Have you done this before? This part?
Not this part. So when I open it up, all I have is the step forward block on mine.
The step forward block. All right. So what we'll do is we'll put this all here and we'll be doing it with you. And as a teacher, it recognized that I did this lesson before. So now we have a blank canvas, event, action, maybe the step forward, which is right here. Okay, that's what we have. That's what you have on your slate, Jeff?
Yep.
All right. So what it's telling us over here, it's to get the ring. So this is the game. But now what we have to do, we have to go into the level editor right here. So we're going to go into the game, and you see I have some rings over here. Okay, so what you do is if you click here on builder, you have various things that you can use. You can change your grid. It's really up to you. We can add a checkpoint where we have to go and get to a certain place to win the challenge or things like that. But here our game, we have to collect rings. So we have to take the rings and put it where you want on the grid. So for example, I can take one or just click it and then tap over here. I always do the same mistake where I try to glide it, but you select where you want it on the grid. So again, if I want another one over here, I can do that. But if you made a mistake, you can reset. Okay, I'm going to add one over here and maybe one over here just to get started so you know how it works. So that's the first step. Then it's telling us next. And it looks a lot like, I don't know, Jeff, if you've done the hour of code where we coding a certain thing and then it's telling us the next step. So it looks a lot that way. Um, and I'm going to click on next here. So I did this step for you. So yeah, I skipped here. I went and did that all here. It's telling us step by step. But because we're using AI here to do the voice recognition, if I would tell the machine right now and I would say something in French, it wouldn't work. So before we get started, we need an on start button, and we need to set the speech language to. So we're going to go into events and on start. And the action that we're going to use is to set this speech language. We can look, it's going to be hidden in the AI, I think. All right. So set the speech language here. We're going to select it and put it over here. And then if we click here, you see we have English, Spanish, Mandarin. I think we had a news that the French is coming up. So French or immersion teachers, it is coming hopefully soon within the new year. So we have the language over here. And then now that it's detecting my language, I need Robo to do certain actions. Okay, what are the actions? Here we have the step forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that here in the garbage. But we need, okay, when I say something in the event, when you say, I need that block, maybe it's in the AI again. Okay, when you say, here, I'm going to use this. I'm going to change the inside here, maybe to when I say right, my robo is going to slide to the right. So usually if I would do those steps with the students, I'd say, okay, I'll pause over here. What do you think we need to do next? Here, what do you think, Jeff, we need to do next for this one? Any ideas?
If we've already got one to go right, I would suggest probably next doing the other directions. That's probably where I would go next.
Yes, yes. So exactly, this is what we have to do. So we would go into events or the AI again. And then when I say left, I'm going to choose the left over here. And I'm going to go and do the same thing into my actions and slide to the left. So what's going to happen here is when you go to your level editor here, when your robo is going to come up, you're going to actually tell him to move left, right. And I can't do it right now because I'm not done all the steps. But remember, Jeff, I said, okay, when we're coding, we kind of have to be lazy. So I'm going to show you a little trick over here to be lazy and save some time with the students. Instead of going every time and keep taking the blocks, what we can do is click on it, right click on it, and duplicate. So you see over here, I already have the blocks. I can put them together, and maybe I'm going to add the up here. I'm going to connect it over here. I'm going to do the same thing, duplicate here, and I'm going to go down, just as your arrow keys. But you see over here, I have a mistake. It's saying right. It's not really right where I want to go. It's up, so I have to go into actions and step backward. I need this. Into the action, I step forward. So sometimes when I know I need a block, I'll just put it on my canvas over here, and I'll use it this way. So I'm going to put this in the garbage right now. And I've done this lesson before, and I'm talking to you, so I'm not reading all the instructions over here. I kind of know what we have to do here. So we have our blocks over here. It's telling us step by steps what to do.
Mark, can I ask
And
you a question about those AI speech blocks?
yeah,
So all the ones we've used so far are single word. Does it work for short phrases as well, or is it kind of limited to like a one word
it's just limited to the
message?
one word. Yeah,
Okay.
because it was trained that way. So
Okay.
yeah, so the way it
Perfect. I
works
know the
is,
students like to tinker with that kind of stuff. You know,
oh
like put in a
yes, yes.
whole line or something. So
Yeah, and you'll see if you give the whole line, it won't recognize it at all. So it's really
Okay.
specific this way. You really have that's a great question. And if you even if I would say it or if I don't pronounce it like right or the correct
Mm,
word, it we didn't train it yet to recognize the accent. So it might not recognize, for example, a British accent or my
that's not
accent
perfect.
where there's a little of French in it too. So we have to be really careful with that. So it's really based on what we've trained it. And this AI model was trained locally by Codingville. So it's not using the information from the World Wide Web to generate things. And that's really important when we're going to get to the second mission where we have to recognize images.
Mm.
So now I need this block where I'm going to go when robo collides. When robo collides. So this trap I'm gonna here when robo collides with, okay, I'm gonna change it to a trap because the traps are here. If I go level editor, those are traps over here. And when that happens, my game is gonna be over. So events or action, sometimes I have to click a few things. Gameplay, oh, game over. So I have to do the same thing though if I get to the famous ring. So again, I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to change this instead of trap. I think for this one, I'm going too far. I don't remember by heart. Game complete. When Robo collects, oh, it's collects instead of collide. So my mistake over here. So I'm going to go back to the action or events when Robo collects. So you see that we only have the blocks that we really need. Collects, and we're going to change this with the ring. And we're going to ask Robo to remove that object, maybe in the values, gameplay, but we're going to click on game complete. I need this one. We need the remove object. Not sure where it's hidden, that one. Recognize object.
I think it's looks.
You think it looks? Exactly. So you've done this before, Jeff.
I've tinkered a bit with it, yeah.
Great. So here we are in game complete. And then if I click finish, now I can play my game. So if I click on run game, and if I click play, now it should recognize my voice and start doing what I want. So if you have a lot of students doing this at the same time in the class, it might be a little bit noisy. It might not work at the same time, but keep in mind, not all the students will be doing this at the same time. And maybe if you need them to go in a quiet space in the class, maybe along the wall or in a corner, it will work. Or maybe just, okay, go outside quickly and do your commands and things like that. So when I click on the microphone over here, right? So I need to hold the microphone all the way. And you notice that for me, I've used this before. My Google Chrome browser allows me to use a microphone. So the first time that you're using this, you will have to select, and you really have to select allow microphone. Because if you don't do that, you'll have to go in your setting of your browser to do this. So here, I'm going to hold it right. So you see that it recognizes what I have to do. I can test it again. Right. Up, up, up. Oh, it doesn't recognize that I want to go up, up, up. So you see where the question you had, Jeff, at the beginning, if I say a full sentence, it's not going to understand the full sentence. I'm not sure if I would write it here. I didn't test it, but if I write, please go up, it might work. I'm really not sure. It's something that I'd be curious to try. But
Hmm.
here, if I want it to go up, I have to do it one by one. If I want the up, 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 I can code the block maybe to go up 3 times. That could be something that I can do.
That's a fun way to think of it. You could have like a new block. You'd have to have a different word, but you could have it coded for a repeat block. So it's gonna, when you say that one command, it's actually gonna move up those 3 or 4 at a time or something. You could have little
Exactly,
shortcuts. Yeah,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
fun thing for your students to play with.
Yeah, yeah, and they can create and be creative here and create your own thing.
Little
So
cheat codes.
up, they recognize hello. Up, up. See, there's a little glitch over here. It doesn't recognize my up, up. Well, it's not working, so I'm gonna say hello. Maybe I'm adjusting to it over here. Maybe when I say hello, it's gonna go up. Hello.
Don't forget to reload, Martin.
Oh,
Gotta
oh
update that
dear.
code.
That's great. Yes. Right. Right. Hello. 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 There we go. Success. So if it
Right.
wouldn't work, I would have this little logo over here. So I've completed this one. I can click on stop. Really good point to refresh. And then if really there's too much noise, it's really up to see if the code works. You can click on toggle the joystick here and have your robo move this way. So I'm going to click on finish here. I just want to really quickly go on just to build. We can go and build our own application over here. I just want to go to the journey and show you the second one. It's really great one, and I want to give you teachers a tip over here for the second one. So I'm gonna click on info, try. Again, I'm gonna click on the AI part over here, and here I'm gonna start with the object detection. So here it's recognizing the objects. So we have to train the AI to recognize the object here, and you can talk to students and how it's used the day to day, maybe in airport or like in a mall or something. It detects the students, or not the students, or the people, what they're wearing, what they're doing, based on certain things that you feed the AI. And here it's the pixels. Well, maybe if you just show that to the AI, it won't recognize that there's a cat. But if you share multiple things and it will analyze that it will be a cat, maybe one pixel of the cat will flag the AI as, okay, this is a cat, this is an eye of a cat. So maybe the ears are pointy, or the tail, or the whiskers, or things like that. So here, I'm gonna use this part here. And in this example, it's using things we have in the classroom, like a pencil box, or yeah, pencil box, pencils. There's a backpack and things like that. So it's telling us what to use over here. But it's super important as teachers to download this one and maybe print it, because recognize that it used those images here. That's a really important part. We talk about backpacks, and let's say pencil case over here. Well, maybe you don't have any students in your class that have a pencil case like that. So really take those images to feed the AI, print them. I have them on my phone, and that's what I will use right now to showcase the camera to do the actions. So really important to have that. Maybe download them, if you want. And yeah, it's really important. If you want to have success with this mission, you can use it this way. So maybe here I'm going to click on next mission. And you see here that my code's already there. Level editor over here. And I've already done this, but it's telling me step by step here what to do. And because we're running out of time, I'm not going to do it all with you, but you can explore over here what to do. It's telling us step by steps. It's the same steps as before or the other one. And if I'm clicking here, so it's telling us where to go, remove object, things like that. If I click on finish, I'm going to try to run my code over here. I'm going to load my pictures here if I can find them quickly on my device.
So while you're doing that, so how this one is going to work is it'll be, looks like by your code, if it sees a picture of a backpack, it's going to make it, the character move in a certain direction. Is that the idea? If it sees an eraser, it's going to move in a different way.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
So those objects become the controller.
exactly. So here I need the pencil box. So if I click on play, thanks for the help, I can go again and do the up, 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 but I'm noticing that I don't have the level editor over here. So what I missed a step where I need to add items here to my object, maybe a flag or a crown. I forgot to add a few things. I did it too fast, but it would recognize what I have to do. And then I would have to start the camera, and then I could take my phone and showcase, okay, here's the image, and it would recognize what I need. So maybe here I'd have to stop, reload, go back to maybe the model answer, what's missing here, because I'm missing some parts. I wanted to go too fast and showcase it, but it's not gonna work. I'm missing something here. So
So I
yeah,
think by
that's
us showing how people can get into that, I think is really helpful for them to know how to get into that tutorial to follow it themselves. I think we're all good.
yeah, and it's really well explained step by step, and it's great because you can see how AI is being trained as well. Um, so if I press here, run code, another thing that I really like is this button here, the joystick. So if I can press play, I would have a joystick. It's reloading. I put it on. See over here, we have the joystick where we can move robo. So that can make things easier when you there's too much noise in the class and things like that. So Jeff, we're gonna go back to our slide deck if you don't mind, and go to our final slides and wrap up for today's
Perfect. I'll
session.
just click through some of your other resources to share there. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Martin, for introducing us to Codingville today. And the focus on the AI features is really exciting, especially to hear that there's more to come. I know, like you were saying, they're going to have some more things specific for Canadian classrooms as well. Some things about different places in Canada, but hopefully. So along the way, just some reminders, I guess, as we wrap up. I'll post this in the chat. But if you could take the time to do this feedback, this is really helpful for us in knowing what you liked about this session or things that we could improve on. So it's really important for us that we get some feedback from you. So please do take the time to fill that in for us. We'll skip over that one. Also as well, thank you so much to our partners at Microsoft for this event. If you need that certificate, I will post that in the chat again for you here. So you can just click on that link, fill that in so that you can get your certificate emailed to you. And there's the feedback. And we have some more events coming up. There are so many things coming up from Logix Academy in the coming weeks. You should definitely check out the resources that are provided for Hour of Code and Hour of AI this year. Post the links there for you as well. So in addition to teacher PD, we also run what we call co-taught sessions. So these are sessions that are during school hours. Teachers can play the video. You can walk through with your students step by step. You can pause that live video. There's also ways to interact with the presenters by asking them questions or those kinds of things. So definitely worth checking out if you have plans to do some activities for Hour of AI. Let Logix be a part of it in your classroom this year.
And I think, Jeff, while they're doing those sessions, they'll have a chance maybe to win a device or a robot or something. There's a draw that's taking place, I think, this month.
Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, there definitely are some prizes along the way as well. And the last event link, sorry, I'll post in the chat is just about some booking events. So if you would like to book something with us specifically around using Codingville, whether a session like this with your staff or a session with your students, those kinds of things can be booked through the Codingville website as well as through Logix. So reach out for however we can support you along your journey for bringing more coding and computational thinking skills into your classrooms.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Here. Yeah. No, thank you. This was wonderful. Thanks so much, Martin.
Well, thanks for your help. Thanks for sharing a few things that you've seen in your class as well. It was great presenting with you. And don't hesitate to register. There's a bunch of events today and later on. And we want to thank you and wish you a nice rest of your weekend. And thanks for spending your Saturday morning with us. And hope you have a great day. Thanks again, Jeff.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, everybody.